start. So briefing screen. Hey guys, welcome to game 2 between Practice, aka Luxury, and Stork. Looks like we're going to see Stork starting in the upper right hand corner in white, and we have Luxury starting in the upper left hand corner. Didn't get the color, we'll see momentarily though. This tends to be a big macro-oriented map, and I think most people are going to be expecting to see Corsair Reaver out of Stork. I'm actually, and so it looks like Luxury's in yellow, I'm kind of hoping to see something new out of him. It's been really popular for Zerg players to go very quick lair, to just go for extra Zerglings, don't bother with speed, deny the scout with just a couple extra Zerglings, go straight lair, and then just figure it out from there. But on 3 bases with Andromeda, it's just been crazy macro from the Zerg side. I think one thing that's been underestimated is specifically burrow for scouting on this map. I think that's something that we saw Quanro do against Bisu and beat Bisu with when this kind of build debuted on Andromeda. And I think that's going to be the key thing for Luxury to beat Stork here. Looks like Luxury is already getting the scout. He's going to put it down to the bottom of both players scouting the wrong direction initially with their respective scouts. Stork is going to be scouting counterclockwise while Luxury is going to send his over to the bottom left hand corner. Stork looks like he's just going to set up for that standard fast expansion. I know a lot of people don't like it being called Bisu build, so I guess I'll call it a fast expansion. There's the 9 pool on the opposite end from Luxury, so we are in fact going to see a couple extra Zerglings here. I'm sorry, actually no, that was Overpool.
Well, you can talk about the BC build.
Overlord first.
The BC build. It's just specifically going the fast expansion into Sarah DT in that sort of sense. So I mean, you can do a fast expansion. It doesn't mean that you're not doing it anyway. So we could see the BC build theoretically. Interestingly enough, Stork doing double scout here. Stork really wants to know exactly what Luxury is doing here, and like I said, it is going to be extremely important for both players to know what the other player is doing and be able to counter it. And Luxury, yeah, doing the click pool, and that's what he did pretty much every single game against Best. That's basically Luxury's standard build here, is a 9 pool or something nearly equivalent. And you know, sometimes we'll see players do that. Let's say Stork spots the Lynx, he's going to put his cannon up straight away. Wouldn't be surprised if he puts down maybe a gateway to block or something like that. We'll see. No, second cannon going down as well. Okay, so he's probably going to try and bring some probes off, block his ramp or something along those lines. If those links come. But yeah, it's been kind of standard to go for a quick pool rather than just straight into 12 hatch. And then players, if the pool doesn't work out, then they can go straight into more of an economy build, start building drones, get another hatchery down, that sort of thing. And he has taken drones off of gas, so he's just gotten enough for a speed upgrade, I think, do a little Spangling Rush, and then he's probably going to get more econ after this. So here come the Lynx approaching the base. I'm sorry if we are off sync a little bit, but I just gotta go with that I have. And Luxury sees those cannons and backs right off. He only went for the 6 links, so he's not going to even try risking the run by. He'd need more links for that. Stork is going to play it safe and build a little bit of a probe blockade anyways, but Luxury's pulled all of his links back to his own base to prevent a scout from getting in, so there's no chance for any break going on here.
I think if either player really has an ace up their sleeve and is planning on doing anything unexpected, we're not really going to see that until at least the mid-game, because this is a fairly well-known map nowadays. I mean, players have had a lot of time to practice on it. It's starting to become one of these maps where things become a little bit more predictable, so I'm actually expecting both players to go for a very standard style and doing things that each other expect to some extent. But when we get to the mid game and to the late game, that's when I can really expect to see people taking a little bit more of a risk. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure about the Reaver Seer thing. Stork did use it to a really good effect against GD play, but I mean against Luxury, it's going to be hard to tell. I think he's probably also just as likely to do something like a very standard large army Archons, High Templars kind of build. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It looks like Luxury is going for a very economic build. He put down that 3rd hatchery for mining extra gas, which leads me to believe that he's going to go for gas a little bit later. Didn't feel like he needed it. Wanted to get that herd, keep the drones mining the minerals, get that, and there's the Stargate right now. So getting that Stargate up, if I get any more pages, I am going to ban you immediately. Just FYI for people in the vent server. Anyway, but it looks like, yeah, we are. I gotta say, this looks like the beginning of a BC build, a very initial sort of build, and I'm gonna pass it off to Moletrap in the meantime.
Okay, so I'm seeing a lair going up at the moment. He's got a drone set up for something. Probably as soon as that lair pops, he's gonna plant down something. Probably a spire, I'd imagine. Yeah, there's the spire going down. So Luxury is going for that spire tech. He doesn't have a lot of intel on what Stork is doing, except he does know that a lot of minerals have been spent on the front door there. He can see those cannons, zealots. He's got to know the Nexus is there as well. Stargate is just going up, so he's, well, Stargate's probably about halfway up, so I think he's probably going to be able to have a couple Corsairs out by the time if he tries for a Mutalisk Rush or anything like that. And there's the robotics facility. So, we are, oh, and it's out of range of the Overlord. The Overlord does not see the robotics facility, so he has no idea what's going on at the moment. I mean, Luxury has no idea what's going on. He's going to see that Corsair come out here, but that's to be expected. So we are going to see some Sair Reaver here action. Sair Reaver action! And there's the first Corsair going to scout things, pumping out more Corsairs as well. So, yeah, I think he's probably going to have enough Corsairs out to, well, you know what? Okay, never mind. Okay, sorry. He's going to have that one Corsair. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose that Corsair. He's going to see that Spire coming up in just a moment. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose that Corsair to some quick Scourges or anything like that. I think that's the reason why I got that quick Spire. I haven't seen a Den yet, though. It's possible, and it's possible I missed a Den, but it's also possible that Luxury's just going to rely completely on that Spire. And now, actually, the Corsair attacking the Overlord, I think he may... Whoa! Okay, they didn't show it a little bit, but he may have pushed the Overlord into view of that robotics facility, but it still may have been a little bit too far south. There's the support bay going down now. So, actually, no, I think that Overlord was out of range of the robotics facility, so he still, I don't think, knows what's happening right now. Are you with us, Vaul?
Yes, I am, and you mentioned that the Overlord wasn't in range of the robotics facility, and there's some Scourges actually flying over it now, but despite that, I do actually think that Luxury knows exactly what's going on. He knows that Stork only has a few options on this map, and I'm sure he would have predicted that Stork's best option really was Sair Reaver, and he's gone for that quick Spire. He's getting plenty of Scourges out, just like July did against Best, to great effect, and I think Luxury is really going to be in a commanding position mid to late game. Just given that, as Diggity's been pointing out, Zerg seems just to be favouring, especially on this map. And this is the second Stargate. Stork's just wasting no time to go straight ahead. He's upgrading +1 weapons. He's got his first Reaver out. Looks like he's going to be going for that Nexus. I keep getting these messages about pages. Are you guys getting that?
Yeah,
it just keeps popping in my ear.
Just ban whoever.
I'm not really sure what's causing that, but.
Just message me who it is, and I'll ban them.
Really
there's already been a warning to it. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And then
right-click yourself and
anyway,
turn off your pages.
Anyway, I guess I'll pick it up from there. So yeah, interesting.
Go ahead, Diggity.
Yeah, we're all off on this commentary as a result, but looks like, yeah, we are seeing the standard Corsair Reaver, but Luxury, wow, getting a ton of hatcheries down in the meantime, and he's got a gigantic economy, because he skipped basically producing a lot of units in the meantime, and I think he's going to have a lot in position to deal with this. Still hasn't put Hydralisks out in the field. I think he's still got Stork somewhat flummoxed, but now it looks like a push-up from... This might actually end up being a problem, because it looks like Stork can go in for a big kill right now. He's got 2 Zealots on the ground. He's taking care of almost all the Zerglings. He's gathering up to the north. He does have that shuttle alongside. Looks like he's going to drop off that probe, pick up that Reaver, and probably go for the attack right now. I don't know if they're it looks like some Scourge going to be able to spot that out. I don't see the upgrade for I'm completely blanking. There it is, the Fleet Beacon down yet. So it looks like the Fleet Beacon isn't finished. So he's not going to have any support as far as the Disruption Web goes. But there's the Hydra. Spore Calling very well positioned. I feel like those Corsairs are very well blocked in. I think Stork's going to have to lose at least one of them to sneak out of this. If these Hydralisks pop, not even Hydralisk. So it looks like he is going to get out for free. For a second there, I felt like he might have a Hydralisk get just popping right underneath him, lose a Corsair or two. But right now, I feel like Luxury might want to put a couple more Hydralisks just out in the field. First of all, Stork's getting a lot of scouting information, but additionally, he doesn't want that Corsair force to get too big, otherwise he's just going to get overwhelmed as soon as that disruption web is finished, and once you hit with a couple more Reavers out in the ground.
Yeah, just real quick, we are a little bit out of sync here by a couple seconds, but first of all, I want to say that a lot of people were favoring Luxury, and I kept saying this to people, dude, don't underestimate Stork, and we do see Stork doing a really strong showing here, putting up a real good fight at least. I don't think the game is determined yet at this point, but like we all thought, this is turning out to be a very, very cool, crazy long game. So Stork has he's put out a lot of Corsairs now, and basically forced Luxury to go for the ground. He's got some Scourges in the air, just all over the place, just to kind of be annoying, trying to pick off things here and there. But Stork has well beyond critical mass of Corsairs right now. He's going to be able to pick off any basic air units that Luxury decides to send at him. I think he's only sending out Scourges. He's hoping that he'll be able to catch him off guard and snipe a shuttle or something like that. But I don't think it's going to happen. There's the Scourges going after the shuttle right now. Corsair sweeping in, taking out the Scourge. Again, sorry, they're probably out of sync here. But well defended by Stork. Luxury trying to pick off a few units over the ridge there. But Stork defending it well, going in there and doing some really nice micro. Using that ridge from that 3 o'clock base to protect his shuttle a little bit as well. And I'm really surprised that Luxury didn't do anything to take out the 12 o'clock base before it was up, because he saw it a long time ago. All he would need was one Mutalisk to go over there and kill that probe, and he could have saved himself a lot of trouble in the future. But now there's cannons coming up inside that little base, so it's going to be a lot harder for him to crack later on, especially if Stork lands some Reavers in there.
So right now, it looks like some Corsair. Well, hopefully we are going to be a little bit off sync. A lot of Hydralisks out in the map, and right now Luxury's just going crazy. But this is going to be huge. Stork going in at the 9 o'clock position. There's only a single sunken colony, which has just now been disruption webbed. Hydralisks can't go and push in, not at that position. This is a really good attack. Of course, Corsair getting picked off, but honestly, I don't think that Luxury's going to be able to stop this. Reaver's positioned behind the minerals, and even if they get in on the approach, they're just going to get disruption webbed. Yeah, just getting picked off here and there, and that's a beautiful positioning by Stork, I have to say, because even if he approaches that, there's no way that that Stork's risking any sort of disruption web on top of the Reavers with that positioning. So yeah, there goes the hatchery, and a big victory early for Stork. We'll see how Luxury recovers. I think I see some units out in the field, bottom right-hand corner. Maybe we're seeing, and it looks like Stork is just going to leave those Reavers there at the 9 o'clock position, which is going to be difficult for Luxury to take care of. But in the meantime, it looks like Luxury's already expanded the bottom right-hand corner. I think he's expanding the bottom left-hand corner, and Reaver's already there to take care of it, though. Luxury doesn't have any units in the field to help deal with this. He needs a bigger mass of Hydralisks, and he also needs to be in position. He can't be running in anticipation. If he's playing the catch-up game, the disruption web, they're just going to absolutely annihilate him.
Yeah, Stork doing a lot of good here. He really, I mean, that's basically what he needs to do, is run around, use his mobility, pick off expansion. That's exactly what he's doing here, and winning another huge fight, using that disruption web, obliterating all those Hydralisks. He's going to take out another hatchery, and this does not look good for Luxury.
Yeah, well, Stork is just doing so much of a better job than Best did against July. I've got to say it. Sorry, Best, but these Reavers from Stork are just doing a great job. Hydralisk just running up the ramp down the bottom left of the map, but so many Reavers in position. Wow, Stork has lost a single Reaver. One the Reaver is right down below health, but these D-webs are just doing so well from Stork. He must have been practicing this like in the run-up to the Pro League final, just practicing D-web aiming, because he's so good with his aim on it. Very quick off the mark. And wow, Luxury actually expanding smack bang in the center of the map, and Stork building another Stargate, going mass Stargates right now. But I've really got to hand it to Stork, because he's really limiting the amount of expansions that Luxury is getting in the far reaches of the map. And 4 Stargates, that's 4 Stargates in Stork's base, so he's really going full on. Maybe we'll see him go mass carriers later. I would not be surprised if he gets to the carrier stage, because he's doing so well in terms of keeping those expansions down for Luxury. And Luxury down at the bottom right, I'm not sure if I realized, oh, there's the carriers there. So yeah, I'd missed that. Wow, Stork already into the carrier space. So this is going to turn out to be a really decent game, and great Aspire there. So maybe Luxury's looking to counter with Devourers. We'll have to see. But this game has really just started turning on the interest factor for me. We're going to see some intense late game stuff. I'm starting to wonder whether Stork's going to take this.
Yeah, it's interestingly enough, it looks like Luxury switched to that. He knows the Hydralisks can't get it done on the ground anymore, so he's going to switch, maybe try to go for Devourers in the air, and otherwise he's using Zerglings to get in proximity with those Corsairs, or I'm sorry, with those Reavers, and once again the Hydralisks out of position getting annihilated. Stork just beautiful macro. There goes another hatchery. What's the count at now? 4? 4 takedowns. Beautiful. And that Stork in a very strong position. He's already taken the 12 o'clock expansion. Luxury's still not out of it. I still feel like if he gets maybe 1 or 2 more expansion, if he can at least hold them, he'll get it done. And maybe, but he needs, if he's going to go Devourer, he needs a lot more gas, he needs a lot more mineral, and right now it's not happening. As you can see, he's got some creep there, starting to push out with some Hydralisks now to maybe get some damage in on those Corsairs in the air, but he's got to be in position, he's got to be it's got to be anticipation, and that's again where I feel like those burrowed Zerglings would have helped, and right now he doesn't have that scouting. And once again, beautiful position behind the lines, but it looks like he is going to be able to sneak around, might be able to get in not be able to get in proximity, and perfect wall around the Reavers. Look at the disruption web. It's like an absolute cone around, a protective cone. And the D-web's just beautiful. That 9 o'clock position is going to go, just going to destroy that entire area.
Oh man, that was hot. That was totally awesome. Perfect disruption webs. Just completely encircling those Reavers. And Stork actually once before in his game against whoever that was, Free I think, whoever that epic game was, he accidentally disruption webbed his own Reavers a couple times. He has picked it up since then. That was, I mean, he didn't hit his all, just like Vaul was saying, he must have been practicing that a little bit. So very, very nicely done. And you know, the problem, as you guys mentioned, is Luxury's going to have to keep his expansions. He's expanding a lot. He's just not keeping any of them. I mean, it looks like he's got a couple more hatcheries down in the bottom left, but he needs to actually keep this stuff because he just keeps losing them. He just lost 9 o'clock. I mean, Stork has taken out, you know, 3 or 4 expansions of Luxuries in the past, you know, 5-6 minutes, and in the meantime, pumping carriers out of, you know, 4 Stargates. And he's got, I think, 6 carriers now. Let's see, when did he arrive? I think that would look like 6. And so that's going to be even worse. Now he's going to be able to fly in, attack with the carriers, with the interceptors, block against Scourges with the Corsairs, and then land Reavers as well. So this is going to just be ridiculous. And he's actually just using his Reavers to defend this new base over here. It looks like he's going to have to fly back. He's in a little bit of danger. Those cannons not quite warped in yet, but Jesus Christ! Scarabs mopping up those Hydralisks. That was ridiculous. And now he's just going to go straight back to his attack. Here come the Corsairs. He needs to land, I'm sorry, the Scourges. He needs to land all of those Scourges if he's going to come back in this game. He needs to stop this push by Stork. I don't think it's going to happen.
Wow, that is a huge number of Scourges, and they're coming in from both sides. Looks like Luxury setting this up. Here come the Scourges, rushing from both sides, landing straight onto the carriers. That's 1 carrier down, at least several more carriers going down, but so many Corsairs in the air. There's a huge carrier fleet still up and flying, and Luxury has lost all of those Scourges now. Guys, I'm going to say it, you heard it here first. Stork's going to take this game. More Scourges coming in, it's not going to matter. That's just too many Corsairs in my opinion, too many carriers. He's even got those Reavers that he can pick up if Luxury decides to go for Hydralisks. Stork, oh my god, he must have practiced for this so efficiently. He looks in like such a dominating position right now. I've just got to say it, I'm just drooling all over this. He's got 3 Reavers back at his natural, he's got 4 in his natural expansion, he's got a massive number of carriers and Corsairs, and now he's heading over to wipe the floor with the bottom left corner of the map. I cannot see Luxury coming back from this, honestly. I mean, I know it's maybe some people feel like it's early days, but I'm seeing a bunch of Scourges and Devourers now. But even that, I think this air army, this air force of Storks, is going to be too much. And he's been upgrading weapons like crazy. It's going to be harsh now. Oh, Devourers coming in, Scourges coming straight into the carriers. They've been covered in acid, but still didn't manage to do it. Still didn't manage to do it, and there's the retreat of the Devourers. They're leaving.
Oh. I think the key problem for Luxury right now is he didn't get the Devourers out in time, and he's running low on gas. He really needed a lot of gas to sustain. First of all, the massive amount of Scourge that he's trying to produce, and additionally, those Corsairs up in the air. Just too many Corsairs. They just absolutely have been rampaging any sort of Scourge force that's been approaching, even with, and it looks like another attack force coming in momentarily. But yeah, as you can see, that hatchery already down, and Stork isn't even picking off the gas right away anymore. He's just like, I can deal with this brunt force. Big attack coming in from the side, and it looks like, oh man, a little bit out of position. The Scourge still not getting it done, only taking down one carrier or two, and really he needed to be taking down a lot more than that. And I think Stork needs to start heading towards the middle now. He just needs to limit Luxury's gas, and he's going to take this game.
Yeah, I think that first Scourge attack, that was 24 Scourges, and he didn't accomplish anything. I think he took out one, maybe two carriers, something like that. That's what he needed, was the Acid Spore going on there. And now he's got the Acid Spore, he's accomplishing a little bit more, but I think it's too late at this point. I think they showed Stork's base a minute ago. He was not producing anything from his Stargates, which means I think he was maxed. And that's the carrier just... What is he doing? Okay, Luxury had a free kill on that carrier and decided not to take it. I guess he wanted to try and get one of the carriers that had interceptors, but he pulled his Corsairs off of the carrier to go attack the other carriers with the Corsairs. That was a little bit ridiculous. I have no idea why he did that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, Luxury, he's really good, but come on. Anyways, now that he has the Devourers out. Oh, an Arbiter! Oh my god! Oh, Arbiters are going to be produced now. Oh man, I think Stork is max. He's freed up a little bit of Psi for some Arbiters, and that is just going to be it, because there's no way that Luxury is going to be able to get enough Overlords into the area to see those Corsairs and what have you. It's just not going to work. And like Diggity said, he just doesn't quite have enough gas to do this. I mean, Stork's been cutting off his expansions one after another. There goes another one in the middle, just as I say it. Hopefully you're watching it just as I say it. So there's just not a lot he can do. He's down to 4 bases at the moment, maybe 5. He just doesn't have enough gas to sustain this. Now he's going to get out some Ensnare. Acid Spores with Ensnare is actually a really, really good combination, so it's possible if he does some sort of genius super move with, you know, up, down, down, left, right, and then sends in Corsairs and Ensnare and everything at the same time, he might be able to slow Stork down, but I think Stork just has way too much of an advantage right now.
Yeah, right now I feel like Luxury has a lot of units on the ground, but again, it's coming down to the last hurrah. He just doesn't have the gas, he doesn't have the minerals, he's lost expansion after expansion after expansion. Just going down, more Stargates being put down by Stork. It's just ridiculous. Looks like some more Devourers being morphed, but again, keep in mind also, Devourers do not attack ground. So I'm curious if Stork in a minute here just feels like putting a bunch of Zealots on the ground or moving up his Reavers, because Luxury's getting caught with nothing on the ground. And Ensnare coming up, and Ensnare does manage to hit the Corsairs, which is exactly what he wants to hit. They don't affect carriers at all, actually. The Devourers coming up, and a huge Scourge force. Oh man, stuff blowing up everywhere, so it looks like he did manage to get 2 carriers. But it's right on the secondary now. The main has got to be out of gas. The secondary's got to have some gas, and the Arbiter getting into the mix now. So just creating a little bit more of a problem. But there is, keep in mind, that's actually a pretty decent-sized Devourer force alongside. But again, I just don't know that. And there's the Reavers on the ground. And this is what I was talking about. Now that Luxury has those Devourers in the air, I don't know if he's been producing any ground units to deal with this sort of attack. Looks like he does have some Hydralisks, but losing once again more gas. And now I think he's down to 1 gas that's depleted. Probably at his main. I think he might still be mining out of that 9 o'clock. I can't see. We haven't seen what's been happening in the bottom left-hand corner in the minute. The one thing for Luxury, though, is he's got a big Devourer force all of a sudden, so maybe he might be able to make a comeback if he continues with this Devourer harass, if he can just keep picking things off and just surviving, keep re-expanding. What I'm expecting Stork to do here in a minute is just put something on the ground, some speed-upgraded Zealots, anything on the ground, just to make sure, and just plant them at each expansion, just so those single drones can't keep wandering out in the field.
He does have Templar Archives, so he may put some DTs around or something like that. But Stork only has 1 gateway, so he's not going to be able to put out a ton of Zealots or anything like that. But I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking it'd be hilarious if he decided to put out some Dragoons or, I don't know, something on the ground but I don't think he has to at this point. I think that's the thing, is he just doesn't have to. He's got even more Stargates now. He's pumping out of all of them again to just refill his side. He did lose some carriers there from that attack, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, think of all the money he spent in order to take out like 3 or 4 carriers. And in the meantime, the Reavers, he had nothing to deal with the Reavers at all, and so the Reavers were still able to go in and kill drones. Oh, nice and snare.
Wow, look at that stasis. I'm not sure if you guys caught that stasis, but whoa, that's the first time I've ever seen a bunch of Devourers get hit by stasis. I cannot believe that. Right after the ensnare as well. And just that comment about ground troops, I wouldn't be surprised if Stork actually built some more shuttles and picked up some more Reavers, because that's the answer to ground in combination with this Air Force. And even more Devourers coming in just to try and defend their buddies after the stasis wears off. But Stork's already in there, and he is not going to let those Devourers go. He's just going to circle like hawks, like vultures, with those Corsairs around that big stasis trap, and right after that comes clean. Well, those Devourers are going to get trashed, and here it goes. The stasis is removed, and actually they are making a quick exit, and that's partly thanks to, I think, all the debuffs. Actually, no, my mistake. There was no ensnare on the airships anymore. But you'll notice that Stork has actually split the map down the middle again, and he's got the expansion down the bottom right. He's still got his expansion at the top, and Luxury's having to rebuild his expansion at the middle. Luxury's doing a really good job staying in this game and evening things up. I think one thing that's going to come into play is going to be the upgrades. I don't know. You guys will have to fill me in if you know anything about what the air upgrades for the respective players are at this point. I am seeing the Defiler there as well, so if we can get some good plagues off, we'll have a triple combo of Plague, Acid, and Ensnare. That'll be a nice bit of eye candy for you. But Stork looks like he's ready to get into position now to start hurting this left-hand side corner of the map, and that's what he needs to do. And Luxury just posturing to come in and prevent him from doing that.
Yeah, doing exactly what he needs to do. I don't even think he needs to worry about the hatcheries anymore. Just hit the gas, then pull out. Looks like he's getting hit the carriers, then coming back, hitting the Corsairs with that ensnare, and that's exactly what he wants to do. Looks like he is going to push up and finish off that hatchery, knowing that those Hydros can't get around. I'm surprised that Stork's actually continuing to push with this attack in. I think he should back off with that ensnare round, otherwise he might get hit. And it looks like the Devourers are going to come from the north. But the problem for Luxury right now is he's having to have to do this kind of... the macro is much easier for Stork at this point of the game. He can run up, click attack, pull back, do some macro, run up, hit attack, pull back, do some macro, where Luxury has to precisely aim all of these spells, bring the Devourer force up. Looks like right now he's actually switched to a lot more Hydralisks on the ground, hoping that the Corsair count would be a little bit lower. It does look like the Corsair count is somewhat lower, but still plenty of D-Web in those Corsairs that are up in the air, and it looks like the rest of those Hydralisks getting picked off. And once again, Luxury down to... I still want... that middle base, though, all stasis. The stasis around those Devourers is absolutely huge. They just look like planet-sized beasts with that stasis around them, but... Anyway, they really do. But really, I think the key for Stork now is just take the middle and then pin Luxury back in his base, and I think that's going to be it for Luxury, because he has done a fantastic job of keeping Stork on his toes, spreading out all over the map, and just making things frustrating for Stork, that having to take down expansion after expansion after expansion. But ultimately, I think it's just the gas problem here. Stork's got to be... I think his secondary's out of gas right now as well. Luxury's got to be hurting for resources compared to Stork, who's... or had a lot of units up in the air, so hasn't really needed it, and has the map basically split in half for him.
It's funny, I didn't think about this before for some reason, but... Defiler's coming in here. We may be seeing some Plague. Nope, Plague does not go off. He chickens out. But the Acid Spores and the Ensnare are also actually going to be naked, so that Luxury can see those units with the Arbiter there cloaking them and that sort of thing, so that's kind of handy too. Swarm going down. He's trying to use Dark Swarm with the Hydralisks, and this is something we actually saw Jaedong use against Bisu in a failed attempt. I think that... am I thinking of the right game? Plague on all of the carriers! Oh my god, every last carrier is plagued now. And oh, a drop in the meantime! A drop on Stork's main. If he loses those Stargates, that could be really bad news. But in the meantime, I think that Luxury just isn't taking any resources there. This could be a battle just to see who could screw the other one the fastest. But I think it's going to be a lot easier for Stork to just rebuild those Stargates in another part of the map. Because he's not going to lose anything major there. And he's actually bringing in Reavers, so he might even be able to mop up those Hydralisks. Yeah, he's going to mop up those Hydralisks before they can actually kill off more of his base. So I think that's GG. I think that was Luxury's last hurrah. That was his last chance to do anything. It was that drop. And now that that's failed, you can see it on Luxury's face. There's just he just realizes that he's kind of frustrated. He's like, well, I tried, but you know, GG. I think there's the Luxury fought pretty hard, and he's still fighting hard, but I just don't think there's any way back for him right now. He's just got so few bases, and Stork has so many, and Stork has just been consistently outplaying him as well. Disruption webs all over the place, and snares and acid spores and dark swarms just have not been able to hold Stork back. He's just been out microing everything.
모였기 때문에 지상렬 가지고는 어떻게 해볼 수가 없죠. 네. 7시.
Yeah, this has been an example of really classy match preparation, and here comes Luxury just over the left-hand side. He's in such a bad position here because the carrier's just flying over the open space where they can't really be attacked, and the Defilers aren't in range. There's a Plague, but as you saw, that Plague just went off over nothing, and the carriers weren't anywhere near that Plague. And as Moletrap said, the Reavers just arrived to mop up the Hydralisks, and Stork's just got too many bases at this point in time. Down the bottom right of the map, Stork can actually rebuild his Stargates, even if he lost them to another drop at the top right. And wow, huge number of D-webs going down. Looks like GG. GG, guys. GG, guys. So it's, am I right in saying it's 1-1 at the moment? OGN 1 and Khan 1?
That's correct, yeah. Khan tying it
That is
back
correct.
up again. Wow, that was...
And I was just notified, well, Communist says that we're currently speaking into no one. The Shoutcast server is down. In fact, he yelled at Shoutcast server down.
Stork just jumped off of the stage.
Oh my god.
He's running around like a lunatic on the sand. That's awesome.
That'll be funny if he didn't get back up again after that shot.
Just jumps off, disappears.